Did you know there was a day God took Ezekiel to the place where death itself dwelled? It was a day like none other, silent, heavy, humming with something Ezekiel could not name. One moment he stood by the river Chebar, the air still and ordinary. The next, the Spirit of the Lord swept over him like a storm breaking open the sky. Darkness fractured, light opened, and suddenly Ezekiel was no longer near the river. He was standing in a vast wasteland where the horizon seemed bruised and the wind carried the breath of ancient sorrow. Death dwelt here. The ground was cracked like a long-forgotten memory, and scattered across it were bones, bleached, brittle, countless, stretching farther than Ezekiel's eyes could reach. A whole nation of lives reduced to silence. God's voice broke the stillness. "Son of man, can these bones live?" Ezekiel swallowed hard. His heart trembled. He looked upon the impossible, the finality of death gathered in one place. "Lord," he whispered, "only you know." Then the Lord moved beside him, not seen but felt, like thunder wrapped in peace. "Prophesy to these bones." Ezekiel's breath caught in his throat. Prophesy? To bones? To the dead? But when God speaks, obedience becomes courage. Ezekiel lifted his voice into the valley, into the silence that had claimed generations. "O dry bones, hear the word of the Lord." At first, nothing. Then, a sound, a trembling, a shiver along the ground like creation remembering itself. The bones rattled, clashing together with the music of returning life. Ezekiel watched, stunned, as bone sought bone, fitting perfectly as if guided by a sculptor's invisible hand. Tendons stretched across them, weaving strength. Flesh wrapped them. Skin covered them. A valley of shapes, bodies formed but breathless. Still God was not finished. "Prophesy to the breath, Son of man. Say to the wind, come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain that they may live." Ezekiel spoke, and the winds obeyed. A holy wind roared through the valley, sweeping over the bodies. Breath poured into them like dawn filling darkness. And they rose, every one of them. An army stood where a graveyard had been. Life where death once ruled. God's voice came again, steady and full of promise. "These bones are my people, and I will open your graves and bring you back to life." Ezekiel stood trembling, not in fear, but in awe. For in a place where death had dwelled, he had seen the Lord whisper life back into what the world had forgotten. And from that day on, Ezekiel knew, what God calls dead can live again.